What is up, fan of lamb? We are live here at Homemade. Thank you so much for tuning in. We absolutely adore getting into the kitchen with you guys. And today is going to be a doozy. We are making the most succulent, gorgeous, impressive, crave-worthy, I'll just keep going, pistachio-crusted rack of lamb. I have been waiting many years, okay, in all of our amazing collaboration and partnership with the American Lamb Board to do a rack of lamb with you guys, because let's be real, it's one of the most in-demand, popular cuts of lamb there is, and we couldn't be more excited to kind of break it down, make it feel so approachable, because getting a gorgeous rack of lamb, honestly, there is nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. If we have not met before, my name is Joel Gamron. I'm the head chef of Homemade. I'm also a lamb ambassador because I believe in buying our local lamb and supporting our American ranchers right here on American soil. And we got to eat more lamb in our diet, period. So all about all things lamb. Could not be more excited for this. What makes this so special is that we are totally interactive. So this is live. You can talk to me in real time, and you can do it through our buddy and the producer here at Homemade. Give it up for Mary. Mary, what is up?
And what is up to you, Joel? Hi, welcome everybody. I'm so excited for this recipe today, and I just really want to start us off on the right foot here. What do you call a quiet lamb?
A quiet lamb?
Yeah.
Go. What is it?
A sheep.
A sheep. I love it.
Do you love it? I'm so glad that was worth it, everybody. If you have better puns, put them in the chat, please.
I love
need help. Thank you.
Mary's going to need a lot of help today. We've got lamb puns. We're going to do a little lamb trivia coming up. We're going to have a lot of fun today. It's going to be great. Honestly, we've got Mother's Day around the corner. When I think about celebrating any mom in the world, if you can make them a stunning local rack of lamb like this is light, it's so impressive, like I said, and really easy to rock out. So we're gonna do it with a little asparagus today. This is like screaming spring. I'm actually gonna show you guys a little bonus recipe of just a very quick tea-infused couscous, which is really great. I thought this could use a little carby that could go well with it, but here we go, let's dive in. First step to this rack of lamb is I want you to preheat this puppy, your oven at home, 425 degrees. So step one, go preheat that, easy peasy. Now, before we dive into the rack of lamb, because that is a whole situation, all right, we'll put this over here. We're gonna talk about asparagus. Now, asparagus absolutely adores lamb, loves lamb. And just like lamb, look for local asparagus, okay? Look for asparagus that's grown in your area. It just tastes sweeter, it's crisper, it's a little plumper. And whenever you buy asparagus, you'll notice it kind of gets very light near the bottom and then super dark green kind of towards the top right there. This bottom part is just totally fibrous and it's hard to chew. I actually, no joke, Mary, true story, and everyone who's watching, I went on a date one time. This is a long time ago because I'm a married man. And they did not take the bottoms off the asparagus at this restaurant. And I was chewing it for far too long. It got caught in my teeth, and she like called it out. She was like, "You have stuff in your teeth." And that has hurt me very much. And whenever I cook asparagus, it's a little PTSD. I still think about it. But Mary's laughing.
I'm giggling. I'm giggling back here. I can see it happening. I can see it happens.
It's like, it's not going to kill you, but it might humiliate you, right? And that's what happened with me. So what you want to do is you want to trim the bottoms. Now the question is, where do you trim the bottom on this asparagus? And so, Richard, if we get in close and tight here, if you hold the asparagus, it will naturally kind of break where you can't chew it. So that's kind of the spot right there, okay? So we put that to the side, and then I kind of lining them up next to all of its little asparagus family. You can see here's the one that I just snapped. And then I take a chef knife, and I just kind of measure it, and I go right by that one. And you have this really beautiful, kind of perfectly trimmed bunch of asparagus. Now, all of this, and you guys know this as a fan of lamb and part of this club, we are lovers of waste. When you think something is compostable, when you think something is trash or recycle, first think of it as food. Let's see if there's something that we can do with it. So These fibrous little asparagus bits, they are awesome in soups. You can blend them up. You would not obviously have to chew them. They're really delicious. I love them in risottos. Absolutely great. So don't throw these away. If you don't know what to do with your asparagus bottoms, just freeze them in a little bag. Come back to them months later, and there's lots of options for you there. I'd love to know in the chat what you guys would make with your little asparagus bottoms. They're so, so good. So I'll put them to the side right now. Mary, how are we doing in the chat? What's everyone saying? What they doing?
A whole lot of lamb puns about my little lamb. I will say I do love my name for that reason. And also now I can truly... Yeah. Thank you. Mary did have a little lamb.
Yes.
And I have a question for you because now I can read my own writing.
Okay.
Where does lamb get its hair cut? This was one from the chat. This is why I love the fans of lamb.
Where?
The Baba shop. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, that one's
super
good.
welcome.
That one's actually good. Okay.
I just love the fans of lamb.
I'm going to rate it. I think I'm going to give that a 7. That's
okay.
a strong rating.
Okay, we'll work on it.
We'll work on it. All right, so I've got our asparagus here. It's all trimmed up, and I'm just going to put it on a sheet tray like this. All right, I'll move this to the center so you guys can really see it. The key with roasting asparagus is you don't want them kind of on top of each other. And I notice that when people have dinner parties or they have people over, and they're trying to do a bunch of asparagus, they kind of like stack it too much and it just steams the asparagus and it doesn't give you kind of that crispy color and that beautiful kind of golden brown that asparagus is good. So just like make sure you have lots of space. If you need to bust out another tray, you gotta bust out another tray. That's just how it's gonna roll. I'm gonna add some olive oil over the top here. All right. Lots of good salts, good pep. And then I'm going to take some lemon. And, you know, when I think about this asparagus, it is there to complement our local lamb, our beautiful American lamb. And so when you think about what goes on this asparagus, what you're going to flavor it with, just think about, like, will it pair well with lamb? Mint would be gorgeous. Lavender would be a really good spice to play with this asparagus. But lemon loves lamb. That's... What is it when there's 3 lemon? Lemon loves lamb. That's hard to say 3 times. What is that called when you have to say something 3 times?
Alliteration? No.
Alliteration?
A riddle? A tongue twister. We made it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We'll stick to cooking. All right. We are zesting this lemon over the top of this asparagus. And I'm going to squeeze lemon over the top of it, the juice, but after it roasts. Because if I do that now, again, it's a little bit too much liquid. And we want to keep it nice and crispy in there. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of parm. This is some shaved parm, but you can do it a little bit before and a little bit after. And then we're just going to kind of toss this up. All right? And this already looks to me amazing. All right, so really get each piece just totally shiny, kind of dredged in that oil. The Parmesan's going to get crispy and beautiful. And look at that. Can we go to a top down, Richard? Look at that. Doesn't that look good already? Really good. I love asparagus. And asparagus kind of falls in that category of a vegetable that I don't really eat outside of spring, and that, like, I don't eat tomatoes outside of summer. I don't eat, let's see, what else do I don't do like winter squash, like butternut squash outside of fall. So I kind of stick to certain things during certain times of the year because they're so freaking good. And they're usually a lot more cost effective. So asparagus is definitely one where it's like from late March to like early June, I'm rocking so much asparagus. So I'm going to pop this into our oven. Again, we're at 425 degrees. I'm going to let that go for about 15 minutes. And again, think like this is what you're cooking maybe for someone to celebrate Mother's Day or just a buddy. One thing I want to say about a rack of lamb, it doesn't have to be like a big ordeal. I think we look at a rack of lamb and we're like, Christmas dinner, or it's like a birthday. It's like this huge moment. Guys, rack of lamb takes like 15 minutes to roast, and it is like maybe one of the best things you'll ever put in your mouth. We need to get this on the rotation, okay? Lamb itself, for those of you guys who've known me, know that I've really changed my relationship to food. I'm looking for really high quality fats, incredible sources of protein, packed full of iron, which keeps me satiated. Lamb is that. Check, check, check. So we just need to incorporate local, beautiful lamb into our diets much more often, period. We don't eat enough lamb. Let's get on board. And I know if you guys are part of the fan of lamb, you guys are already on board. All right, let's talk about a rack of lamb. Let me stand this puppy up. Look how gorgeous this is. So this is a rack of lamb, okay? And typically there might be a little bit of extra meat and some fat on these bones, but these have been Frenched, which means that that fat and that extra meat has been actually trimmed by the butcher. Believe it or not, you can go to your grocery store or your local butcher, and when you get a rack of lamb, even if you buy it off the shelf, you can bring it to them and you can say, hey, do you mind Frenching my rack of lamb? And they'll trim it and it will look gorgeous like this. So if you're a little worried to do it yourself, which is totally understandable, get someone to do it for you. And again, in the world of where we try not to waste a lot of food, use all those lamb scraps, all that extra lamb fat, all that beautiful lamb meat. You can make a perfect little lamb stock. You can make a beautiful sauce out of those. Again, if you don't know what to do with them, freeze them, come back, visit them another time. Mary, how are we doing in the chat so far?
Incredible. Speaking of using things another time, for asparagus,
yes,
we're thinking perhaps a hash, perhaps a pasta salad.
You mean with the bottoms?
Yes, with the asparagus bottoms, of course. Yes, blanching them, maybe putting them in a pasta bake. I just throw everything in a giant
I love
bowl.
that.
And of course, one person in the chat said, my dog is a huge fan of the bottom of the asparagus.
Hey man,
Love
however if someone's eating them, whether it's dog, human, we don't care, put it to use. I love it. All right, so let's take a look at this rack of lamb. Richard, let's get in close. One thing that I love about a rack of lamb, all right, especially American lamb, is it's the perfect ratio of fat to meat. You can see that this is just kind of draping, right, over the meat. Right? And this kind of keeps it juicy. This is why this is such a popular cut, is because as this bakes, the fat kind of melts into the actual lamb itself. And this is why it is absolutely melt in your mouth delicious when you have a beautifully roasted rack of lamb. All right? Now, sometimes there might be a little extra fat. You can always trim it, right? You can just take a knife like this. I'll just do a little bit here. And you can just, I like to use a nice long knife. You can always just trim just a little layer. If you just look at that fat and you're like, it's a little bit too much. Again, we don't lose this lamb fat because it's unbelievable. By the way, the other day I had lamb fat roasted potatoes. So you take this gorgeous lamb fat, you put a little water on top of it, just a little bit, like I'm talking like a tablespoon. Put it in a saucepan low for about 30 minutes. And all this will melt like butter into that water. And you'll have lamb fat. It will look like oil or melted butter. And you toss your potatoes in there, or you can scramble your eggs in there. Dude, like, so good. So good. All right? So we've got our French rack of lamb. We trimmed a little bit of the fat if you need to, but I think ours looks stunning. All right? And it's kind of, at this point, ready to go. Now, you could cut these into little lamb chops. We all love a lamb chop. But I find that this is the easiest way to do it, and it really keeps it really juicy by just roasting the rack of lamb. And it's really nice to kind of crust it, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to crust this with pistachios and some beautiful flavors. So what we're going to start by doing is grab a little food processor, which I know a lot of us have at home. If you don't have this at home, you can totally rock out like a little mortar and pestle, right? And just bash all this up, one of those old school things. But we're going to start with pistachio, nuts like hazelnuts, pistachios, walnuts. They adore lamb, and they kind of soak in the nuttiness of the actual nut itself. The toastiness pairs perfectly with lamb. So I'm going to add in some nuts, nice big pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some breadcrumbs. Cool. And these are just like panko breadcrumbs, but they can be any type of breadcrumbs. And then I've got about a tablespoon of herbs de Provence. Now, you kind of think this is like a pesto vibe. It is sort of. We're making kind of like a paste, but it's not pesto. So adding these dried herbs, this is more what's called a pistou, P-I-S-T-O-U. And that's kind of like, it's like a French kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. I'd call it a paste. And you can put it on top of fish, things like lamb. But as you guys know, in the south of France and in France, they love their lamb. All right. We're going to put this on top and just blitz this. Beautiful. Smells outrageous. Oh, smells so good.
Can we freeze the lamb fat?
Yes.
Okay.
But are you asking, can you freeze it before you melt it or after?
Well,
Both.
what do you think?
Both. You can
Great.
freeze it like this. Okay. Put it in a bag. It will freeze. I mean, it'll be good probably for a year. Let's just be real. So no need to use it right away. And if you melt it, you can also freeze it, and it would be absolutely great. So either way.
Love it. Okay. This should be easy.
I'm ready.
What was the first cloned mammal in 1996?
The first what?
Cloned.
Cloned
You heard me.
mammal?
Cloned.
I mean, I'm thinking since we're a fan of lamb, I'm going to go with a sheep, a lamb.
Lamb. You heard it here, everybody. It was a lamb. And
They
her name.
cloned it?
Her name, do you know it?
No, what?
Dolly. I'm sure there's going to be people in the chat. This is the people who know about the cloning in American
I love
history.
you, like the
they
people
love
who
it.
know about the cloning. I love
Okay,
it.
another one.
Okay.
Okay, this is just a fact. I don't really know how to make this into a trivia question.
Okay, great.
Did you know? Oh, no, I know this one. What shape are lamb's pupils?
Round.
They're square. They're square, buddy.
A lamb has a square pupil. in
If
their
you
eye?
if you spend a lot of time with like goats, sheep, their eyes are a little different.
I want to know, like, I know sometimes we have ranchers on, and by the way, whether you guys know this or not, one of the biggest reasons why we love American lamb is because of the American lamb ranchers. They're the backbone of America. People don't realize that 9 out of 10 ranches where we get our beautiful lamb from here in America, they're family owned. These are small family farms and ranchers who are dedicated to getting us an incredible product on our table. So I want to know if there's any ranchers in there. Is that true? Is there really square pupils? Because I think you're looking at lambs in the eyes more than Mary and I. I don't know. I don't know where you got that answer. I'm just
Here's what I'm
throwing it out
doing.
there.
I'm doing a lot of chat moderating, a lot of eating chef snacks. That's what I've been doing lately. So I don't mind.
All right. While we drum up the next one, I'm going to grab a handful of flat leaf parsley. Again, this could be any soft herb. Think basil. Honestly, spinach would be great. Just something kind of bright and beautiful. And flat leaf parsley is just perfect for this. I'm going to squeeze in some lemons. And I'm going to add some oil. And this is going to start to kind of bring together this crazy paste that we've been talking about. All right, let's do it. Looks so good. And the machine will kind of tell you when it's done, right? It will kind of stop mixing. You'll kind of hear the difference in the blade. And that is when you know this paste is in a really good spot. So I'm going to take the blade out. It's always the safest thing to do. Push all this to the back. And we are looking golden. So at this point, I'm going to take my rack of lamb. And can I just like reason with people for a second? Like, let's go to a wide real quick because I just want to talk to you guys. When you buy a rack of lamb, I know it's scary. Like, I'm being dead serious when I say that. I know it's scary. Sometimes it can cost a little bit. You don't want to mess it up. It is so hard to mess up a rack of lamb by roasting it. It is so hard. There's such a nice insurance of fat, right? The bone keeps it incredibly juicy. You will not mess this up. I want you to hold this with confidence. I want you to know that you can roast this to perfection, to that rosy pink, 145 degrees center that we always look for. You got this. I just want to call that out because sometimes when you're working with a piece of meat, that just feels a little bit different with bones hanging out of it and fat on top of it. It can be intimidating, and I get that. But the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. And I promise you, even on your first one, it's going to come out spectacular. All right?
There's nothing like a pep talk for me in the
Sometimes
kitchen.
you just need a little pep talk.
So cute.
All right? All right, so we're going to take, this is like the most stunning thing you're about to see. So I face the actual rack of lamb, bones towards my belly button, okay? Can we get in close here, Richard, for this technique? There we go. And then I take our paste and I kind of press it. How beautiful is that? On top of our lamb. This is the perfect texture. It kind of feels like wet sand is probably the best texture, is the best comparison I can tell you. It's just sticking on to that lamb fat perfectly. It's like a little plaster.
I have a quick question about this paste. Would it be possible to make this paste without a food processor? Like, could you do a rough chop?
Yes, you could do a rough chop, and I think I mentioned you could do it in a pestle and mortar too. So as long as you can kind of break it down, it will totally work. You do not need the fancy food processor. All right, this looks so good. And this is going to add just another layer of insurance to make sure nothing gets dried out, because this is going to kind of encapsulate all the juices, keep everything in. And then I just kind of take all this paste and I just want to pack it in, honestly, right? Like, if you got a little extra, that's okay. I see a little white space over here. So it's just kind of like an art project at this point. And this, my friends, look at that. I mean, is that not just, it's like stunning. And
it's just pretty. It's just pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty. And it honestly, it looks fancy. But sometimes the fanciest food in the world, and I can tell you this because I've worked at some really fancy restaurants, sometimes it's the easiest to make. Isn't that funny? Sometimes you can just really rock out something so simple, like you're just grinding nuts and a little bit of breadcrumbs and some lemon and putting it on top of a rack of lamb, and it looks fancy. It's so simple. All right. I'm going to put this on a sheet tray, actually. Let's do that.
Ooh, a quick question from Dan in the chat before. I know that we just covered up the fat cap, but would it help to score the fat cap before pasting it, is his question.
That's a great question. You know, if you have a very thick layer of fat and you don't want to trim it, yeah, you might want to score it. That's a great idea, because then it will render a little bit more fat quicker for you. But you don't have to. You don't have to. It's so thin and it doesn't roast for that long. Or really scoring, it's not going to make a huge difference. But it's a good thought. It really is a good thought. All right. At this point, it's nice to let this sit for 30 minutes if you have the time. It will kind of like adhere to the lamb a little bit more. It'll give a little bit of flavor. The lamb will come up to room temp. And when you're roasting a beautiful local piece of lamb like this, you want to make sure that it's kind of the same temperature as the oven, or at least room temperature, so it's not starting from cold. But for today's fact, we're just going to pop this in under the asparagus. And honestly, on top of the asparagus. Check out the glasses. Check out the glasses.
A classic.
That happens to me all the time. And I've got these little kids running around, and then my glasses get super fogged up because of the oven, and I run into them. I bash into them. It is a dangerous place in my kitchen. So I want to call out the lamb. It's in there for 15 minutes. Okay, again, 425 degrees. And then after 15 minutes, I like to temp it. All right. Some people are going to get a smaller piece of lamb. Some of them are going to get bigger. That's part of finding American lamb. Every sheep is different, and that's okay. That's part of cooking anything, right? So you want to temp it out, right? And I'll just show you. I love these instant read thermometers. Maybe we can get close here, Richard. But these guys are awesome, right? And you just want to go kind of like halfway through the lamb, and it will tell you where you're at. And what we're looking for is 140, 145 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's kind of USDA approved. And what we do is we let that rest, okay? Now, if you're not there yet, what's going to happen is, after 15 minutes, is that crust might get a little bit dark. So what you can do is grab a little piece of tin foil and tent it. So don't press it really hard on the lamb, just kind of lightly tent it. And I'll show you what it looks like when the lamb comes out. Take a look at this, gorgeous. I mean, come on, look at that. Of course, we did one ahead of time. Richard, let's get in close here. I mean, is that just ridiculous? You think about Mother's Day. You think about a Tuesday, man. That is everything. So, when I talk about tenting it, it's not like jamming this on top. It's just tenting lightly, and that way the nuts won't burn, and it will all be good to go. So, we'll let this rest for a little bit. This just came out. Ooh, still a little warm. I'll put it to the side. Let's grab that asparagus real quick. All right. It's been about 15 minutes. Oh, man, look at this. That looks awesome.
Folks in the chat are saying that's just a serving for one, which I love.
Amen.
Yeah.
And that's just
Eat them like popcorn.
That's just me. Totally. This looks incredible. Take a look at this asparagus. You can see it got kind of caramelized. The cheese gets kind of crispy. And you kind of pick all this up. I mean, look at that. Is that not crazy? You make asparagus right, it is hard to beat in my mind. So I'm going to start with asparagus, just kind of on the platter. And I'm just kind of scattering this in different directions. I like just a little bed and not looking like I plated it too fancy. Just kind of get it on that plate. And by the way, you know we roasted this asparagus just absolutely beautiful when you can kind of see there's like little wrinkles on there. It's still super hot. But let's just see if we can get in close here, Richard. There you go. And it kind of blistered a little bit. That is a gorgeous piece of asparagus. And I love how the cheese gives it a little extra crunch. This looks awesome. And then on top of this, while it's still warm, I'm just going to add a little bit more shaved parm. And the warm lamb will kind of melt into that. It's going to be so good. All right. So just to recap where we're at. First thing we did is we added a little olive oil, a little lemon zest, salt and pepper to this asparagus, a little bit of Parmesan, and we roasted it for 15 minutes at 425 degrees. While that was roasting, we made that gorgeous crust with pistachio, breadcrumbs, olive oil, lemon, and we just patted that on our local lamb and really kind of encapsulated it, right? Just around. And then you can let that sit for 30 minutes if you have the time. If you don't, we pop that into the oven for 425, so the same temperature for, again, 15 more minutes, and then you temp it out. And if it's not where you want it, you just put a little tent over the top until you get the temperature you want. Cool? Everyone tracking? We're all feeling good? I love it.
We're all feeling good. There's also some wonderful discussion of wool in the chat as well. We are loving.
Hey man,
we're
all
fans of lamb. I just love it. I love it.
All things lamb here.
And James is cracking me up. He's saying I'm actually more of a meat expert, but I have friends in the wool business, and that's how he's able to sort of tell us about the different types of wool. Thanks, James. It's very cool.
Incredible. Real quick, we didn't have like a starch for this recipe. We just decided to show you guys asparagus and lamb, which is great. But I thought it'd be fun to show you guys like a quick little couscous, which I think really plays well with this dish. It plays great with the asparagus. The lamb fat and the juices kind of soak into it. And I love making couscous in a pinch. So this is a fun recipe. I take a tea bag, right? And by the way, let's just talk about what couscous is. Richard, can we get in close here? Couscous is the smallest pasta in the world. Smallest pasta in the world, okay? It's semolina and water, semolina flour and water. And they're just these little bits. And a lot of people don't cook it enough, but it takes 2 minutes to cook. And you don't even need a saucepan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a little bowl like this. You can do this technique with I'm about to show you with chicken stock. You can do it with water. It's totally up to you. I'm going to take a little tea bag. This is a chamomile tea. And I'm just going to put it right on top. And I'm going to literally brew some tea right over the top of this. This is hot boiling water out of my kettle.
Guys, this is a first for me to see this
Are you into
happening.
This?
I'm so into this. What have I been doing my whole life?
I know. And then, Richard, if we get close, I just covered the couscous with a little bit of this water, right? And then what I do is, I probably put a little bit too much in there, but that's okay. I just cover that with like a little bowl and just let it steam. And that's it. It will take about 2-3 minutes. And couscous is done. Sometimes I come home from work and I'm like, what do I want? And I just go get couscous, put it in a bowl, steam it up. I fry an egg, put it right on top. Stunning. All right. While the couscous is couscouing, is that a thing? I just want you guys to see again our gorgeous rack of lamb. And this is, when you temp it out, it's about going kind of right in there, right in the middle, and kind of looking for it. And that's what we're looking for. Again, you want to let it rest for about, at least 5 minutes. So I'm going to take this out onto my cutting board. Thanks, buddy. And now comes, I think, the scariest part. I think we've gotten through a lot. This part is scary for people, which is how do you cut this rack of lamb? Like, what do I do with this? It looks gorgeous. We made it beautifully. It's golden brown and delicious. Like, I'm ready to serve it just like this, but then you feel like you're going to mess it up if you cut into it. It's like one of those things. It looks too beautiful. So I want to show you guys how to cut a rack of lamb every single time. Rock it out. You got this. So I'm going to pick it up and show you the backside. And you'll notice there's like these little nubs. Maybe we'll show a little, yeah, there we go. It's like these little rib nubs. And it literally tells you where to cut. You just want to kind of choose a nub and cut on one side of it. So you sneak your knife in between and you just kind of cut down. Oh my gosh, look at how gorgeous. Rosy, pink, stunning. All right, so again, here's a little piece, a little bone. You just cut right in between those bones. There's really nothing to it. And once you kind of find it, it literally just kind of falls off. The first one you might be like a little worried about, and then you'll just nail it. All right, nice long strides. You got it. Oh my gosh. You could sell this for a gazillion dollars.
These are looking amazing. And did you hear that, folks? Joel would buy this for a gazillion. $1 gazillion.
I mean, look at this.
Wow.
Show that. Rosy pink. This is how I like it. Medium rare. Gorgeous fat cap. Crusted pistachios. Right? If you want it more cooked, obviously take it kind of closer to that 150. But for me, this is just gorgeous, rosy pink every single time.
And so, keep in mind the USDA approved is 145. So if you're at that temp, you are good to go.
You're good to go. Totally.
Perfect.
But it's up to you. I know everyone likes, their meat cooked a little bit differently. All right, check it out, guys. It's been 2 minutes. Look at our couscous. Let's get in close here, Richard, so everyone can see. Check it out. The water is gone. You remove the tea bag, and you can kind of fluff up the couscous, and it is like done. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. That's like actual movie magic.
Does that blow your mind?
That's a swap without a swap.
It's so fast.
Awesome.
So I take a little bit of this, and you can kind of just add it to the tray of asparagus if you want. Just kind of dot that around. It's just such a nice little bed. And again, we'll kind of play with the lamb so beautifully. And then you grab this lamb, and me personally, I don't like to plate things too fancy. I just like to kind of like get it on there, make it look approachable so that people feel like they can kind of just dive in and grab one. And this is just like, and by the way, with this type of lamb, you better believe you just pick one up and start eating it. This looks so good. I might grab a little bit more flat leaf parsley. I won't even chop this. I'll kind of just rip it and right over the top. And you've got asparagus on the bottom. You got a little bit of couscous on the bottom. And you just have this joy, this beautiful, isn't that awesome and stunning? That's just everything. To me, that's everything. This is like why we are part of the Fan of Lamb Club, like right here. There's nothing better than just a gorgeous, simple, roasted rack of lamb. Unbelievable. All right. You guys know what needs to happen. I got to do it. I got to try one. These just kind of cut right off the bone. I mean, they're so easy. So let's just try a little piece here. I just cut it up. I want a little bit of the crust, obviously a little bit of the meat, the fat. I'm getting it in there.
In the lamb apron, no less. What a day.
All right. From a texture standpoint, it's so delicate. It's like butter, right? Because you've encapsulated it with the nuts and because it has that little fat cap on top of your beautiful rack of lamb, it stays so juicy and succulent. You taste immediately a little lemon, the lemon zest. Then it kind of finishes with that toasty little nuttiness. But what you get is that sweet lamb flavor that we all absolutely love. And every single time you support a local rancher, American lamb, you're tasting the difference of how good, beautiful raised lamb can be. This is why I cook. This is why I eat. This is everything. It is to die for. Absolutely to die for.
Joel, could you tell the fine people at home,
by the way, don't mind me. Yes.
where we could eat perhaps 6 to 8 bites of lamb in a single day?
Are we talking about lamb jam?
I think we are.
Yes. So if you guys haven't heard us talk about Lamb Jam, we're actually going. It's going to be here in Seattle. These are live events around the country where they team up with local chefs. They put together amazing lamb-centric menus that will blow your mind. I've gone before. It's a party. It's not only a party physically, it's a party in your mouth because you're eating so many different little bites. You're meeting really cool chefs, and you're seeing lamb prepared in ways that you've never seen before. So we're going to put a link in the chat because it might be coming close to you. In Washington, D.C., it's May. San Francisco, it's June. Here in Seattle, it's July. The whole team is going here. Omid, we couldn't be more excited. And then it's Boston in September. So every year they kind of hit different stops. It's like a traveling tour. It is so rad. You guys will love it. They have little competitions, live little moments. It is such a joy to go. So check out Lamb Jam. Again, we put it in the chat. Mary, great call out. Any last trivia? Jokes. What do we got to finish this with?
I think we have to save our trivia for next class. Suddenly, I have 1 million, and I'm like, there's not enough time because now we've created the lamb.
All right, so we'll save it for next one.
Yeah, next class is going to be our hot honey leg of lamb. Insane.
Hot
on
honey
June 10th.
Leg of lamb.
So please join us and watch Joel eat more lamb. It's fun in here.
That's all that's going to happen for the next 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. I did forget to mention that if you do sign up for Lamb Jam, you actually get a free T-shirt, which I think is really rad. And I was just telling Mary, man, American Lamb and their branding game, so good. Go on their website, as always, amazing resource, how to cook different cuts, how to break down lamb in different ways, recipe, inspiration, tips, tricks, all the stuff that you need to know. Check it out. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We'll see you in the chat. We're always interacting with you guys in real time. Until next time, thanks so much. We are always a fan of lamb. Take care.